Hey everybody, welcome to Joe Zone. There you are, Shane. I thought you was gone there for a minute. Hey, come on, everybody,
This
welcome to Joe Zone, where we
real
talk
guy.
toys and fresh sarcasm is provided daily here at the Joe Zone. So be prepared for that. Real quick, interesting week. Don't know if anybody got to get out and do any hunting or anything. Got some stuff in the mail this week, but I did find this guy at Target, and I couldn't pass him up because y'all know I love the flashy costumes and the obscure characters. So who wouldn't love Clock King? you know, interesting. I was reading his bio card. Apparently, he had an obsession with clocks, and most people don't know this though. But Clock King at one point becomes so obsessed with clocks he began to eat them, but he found it to be time consuming, so he quit. So there's Clock King. and you notice I kind of got him. I need him with his foot on the on the step up of a DeLorean because he's got kind of the Back to the Future where they're looking at their watches. So I think he would have made a great cast member for Back to the Future. Anyway, I was surprised that actually after we've been talking about no new Build-A-Figure ways at Walmart, I actually did find yesterday some of the the newest Build-A-Figure wave that's got the Blackheart Build-A-Figure series. I already had Bloodstorm. They had all of them except for Helverine and Moon Knight, which Helverine doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece, so I ain't really worried about finding him. So now all I need to do is find the Moon Knight to finish my Blackheart, which I've got a headless Blackheart right now, but fortunately Dracula come with two heads, so I'm improvising until I can get a head for him. So right now he's just wearing Dracula's extra head. So there you go. Cool, pretty cool figures though. Anyhow, we'll talk some more about some other figures, but right now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Adam, and he's got some stuff to talk about pertaining to his favorite subject, NECA.
Woohoo! All right, so NYCC was this year, and so I volunteered a little bit to keep with NECA as best as I can. So they released a bunch of, I don't know if it's a bunch of new stuff. There wasn't a whole lot of new, but there's a lot of new product. So up first, this is, I could be wrong on these, so don't quote me on this, but I believe this is the Mirage line, and this is the Leatherhead. These pictures all come from Toy Shiz on YouTube, by the way. So these are stolen screenshots from him. I hope he doesn't mind. And so that's Leatherhead. And they said that he is really beefy. He's supposed to be, I guess, about like 8 to 10 inches tall. So I don't know. It's hard. That angle is kind of hard to see, but that was a new one that I hadn't seen yet. He's got a leather or a eye patch with the skull and crossbones. So that's pretty cool. If you're into the Mirage stuff, I suppose. We can head to the next one. All right, this is the newest stuff that they revealed. They actually showed sketches or 3D renderings of these at SDCC this year. But this is the 2012 series, so for more modern, I guess, Turtle fans. But it's a really great series. And so I don't know if they're running to the bottom of the cartoon and movie line, so they're looking to branch out or not, but this is the first time that we're seeing these in actual form, and I don't really know what stage these are in, but these are the 2012 series. So you got Michelangelo, you got Leonardo. Michelangelo comes with all the accessories you see there. He's got a couple of weapons, the different heads, the different expressions. One of the things that was unique to the series is that it had a kind of like an anime or a manga style to it. And so you see their whited out eyes. If you haven't watched the series, when they go into like, I guess, combat mode, when they're getting ready to fight or when they're being stealthy, their eyes go full white. It's a really, really cool thing. A lot of people are excited about Ice Cream Kitty there, who's one of the mutants in the show that kind of becomes like Michelangelo's pet. So these are pretty exciting. These are pretty cool. And so I don't know how far they're going to go into the line, because this show, I guess it was on for about 5, maybe even 6 years. It was on for a while, and they went pretty deep into the Ninja Turtles storylines. So they make movie references, they make original cartoon references, they make references to the different comic books, all types of stuff. And if you haven't watched this series, this is a really, really great series to watch. And if you've got little kids, it's totally appropriate for them. And it's just, it's really solid. So these would probably be a pick up another rabbit hole for me to go down with my turtle obsession. But yeah, this was the first time we got to see these. These were really, really cool to see. This is I can't remember his name. He is Panticon or something like that. He was not in the actual original cartoon, but he is in the original cartoon line. So a couple of the figures that they're starting to do were never actually in the cartoon, and this is one of those. But there was a Playmates figure of this character who was in another comic book line. And so this is NECA's version of what that comic book character would have looked like if he had been in the cartoon. So this is why I think they might be getting to the end of the cartoon line. They're just kind of grasping at straws almost, I guess. He looks cool. It does nothing for me. He wasn't in the cartoon. This is one of the cartoon lines that I'll be passing on Shane, since I am not being a completionist with this line. But he looks awesome, and I know a bunch of people who are excited about him. These two guys, I have no idea. They were apparently in the cartoon. I'm not familiar with the episode that they were in. My understanding is the guy on the right with the striped shirt, he is supposed to be like almost like a take on Freddy Krueger. I don't know how that works in the cartoon. The guy on the left is supposed to be like a ghost or a genie, and so he's supposed to come with the option that you can have him kind of like, with the ghost, I don't know, tail, lack of a better term, or you can put him on the legs or something. I don't know. It's just, this is the first time I've seen or heard of either of these characters or the figures for them. So, I grabbed a screenshot. I don't know what they are or how accurate they are or if anybody's going to be excited about them, but there you go.
Those look like Scooby-Doo villains.
Yeah, they look like they could go into Scooby-Doo. Okay, so this one, the sumo wrestler, he is in the cartoon. This is, his name's Tattoo, I believe is his name. The figure that Playmates did of him back in the day, like he came with a bunch of sticker tattoos you could put on him. Like in the cartoon, I guess the story is that he was a gerbil that turned into a sumo wrestler. So I don't remember him in the cartoon. I only watched like the first 2, maybe 3 seasons of the cartoon as a kid, but this is the closest look to that we've gotten of him. He was one of the ones that was kind of like snuck in at SDCC, like in the background. You could kind of see him in a doorway or something like that, or in like one of the labs or something. The guy next to him is Worm. And Worm is another one that wasn't ever in the cartoon. He was in a commercial for, is either for the toys or for a restaurant that was doing a promotion with them or something like that. He was in a commercial. And so this is their version of the character that was in the commercial if he had been in the TV show. He is actually in the 2012 series. He does a lot of really crazy random stuff. And so, I mean, it's all the TMNT stuff you want. He's got worms that come out of his mouth. He's got a gross leg, all the traditional Ninja Turtle type of stuff that everyone loves. And I know people are excited about these two. Personally, for me, they don't do anything for me. I don't remember them, so it's not going to be something in my collection. All right, and this is the one that I need to find. So if anyone sees this should start hitting. This is the Ultimate Shredder. So when they first started doing the cartoon line, they had 2-packs, and they had Shredder come out with 2 different versions of the 2-pack. He came with Krang, and then I want to say he came with Leonardo. I could be wrong. But he doesn't match the cartoon look of him. And so this is their redoing it, kind of the way that they just recently redid Slash. And they had an ultimate version of Slash come out because the original Slash was too small. And so this is an ultimate version of Shredder. He comes with a bunch of really funny accessories. Like my favorite is he comes with the old school floppy disk, where it's like in all the 80s TV shows and comic books, and even up to Mission Impossible, everything to solve the world's problems or to start World War III is on this floppy disk. And so he comes with one of those, which I think is hilarious. But he comes with an alternate helmet where you can make it look like he's a chef and stuff from the cartoon. So it's a bunch of really fun, stupid stuff. But this is an Ultimate Shredder, and he is a lot better than the original one that they did. So if you're in the market for one, don't be buying on eBay right now. Give it another month or so. This is supposed to come out, and this was originally supposed to come out in Q3. So it should be hitting stores anytime now. So if you happen to see it, shoot me a message and let me know that you're seeing it. It will be a Target. All the cartoon figures will be a Target exclusive when they first come out. All right. These were, I'm not familiar with these. These are Last Ronin figures. And so I haven't read those comic books. I don't keep up with the storyline a whole lot. I know the overall premise that it's a future story of the turtles, and that all three of the turtles are dead. And the last one, you're supposed to spend some time figuring out who it is and all that kind of stuff. These are not new versions of those characters, but these, I think they're called like Night Watch or something like that, maybe. Just visually, they look incredible. The grayscale with the red on all of them, it looks very much early Mirage Turtles, where they all wore red and all that kind of stuff. It looks pretty cool. It's not for me. I know Shane has not Shane. I know Dave has been collecting the Last Ronin stuff, so they have all three of them together. I don't know where the fourth turtle is. I don't know if it happens at a certain point in the timeline. I really don't know. But I could see the way that they all look similar in style. I could see them doing this as like another 4-pack or a 3-pack that's going to be coming out somewhere down the road. They actually look really good. All the Last Ronin stuff looks awesome. I can't go down another rabbit hole if I don't have any connection to it. But these look really cool. All right, and this gets into some of the Archie comics. Starting on the left with the Archie, that is Archie Shredder. Only with this configuration, this is apparently in the story, Krang takes over Shredder's body. And so this is Krang taking over Shredder. You can see just the tip of his helmet down there. There is an alternate head so that you could have this as an Archie comics version of Shredder. Or in the comic books, like when Krang takes over, you can switch out the heads and have Krang operating Shredder's body. Next to that, you have Wingnut, and behind him is Screw Loose. They had Screw Loose balanced on his wings, and he'd fallen off when this video was taken. But that's the that's the Wingnut and Screw Loose from Archie Comics. And then next to him is actually a paint variant of possibly one of my figures of the year. That's Belly Bomb, and I know nothing about the character. He is just, it's a crazy awesome figure. If you like cool figures, his mouth in his stomach can actually talk, like not talk. You can move it to pose it. His tongue inside of his mouth stomach moves. His eyeball neck moves in 2 or 3 places. The actual eyeball inside his socket is posable. It's a really cool figure. Apparently this is a paint variant on one of the covers of the Archie comics. He was in these different colors, and so there you go. They're going to get use out of the mold, because I can't picture them being able to use too much of this mold on other characters. But the first one, that is more of like the traditional flesh color and like a pink jacket or a blue jacket and pink pants or something like that. He's a really awesome figure. So I mean, if you've got one creepy alien with a stomach mouth, why not have 2, I guess? But those are all Archie comics. Those are the 3 reveals that they did 3 of the reveals that they did for the Archie comic line. All right. This is what they're doing with the movie line, and this is very disappointing to me. So primarily I collect the movie line. I'm not a completionist with the movie line. There are 2 figures that I don't have. One being the Spirit of Splinter. I'm not paying $300 plus for a Splinter figure. And then I didn't back the most recent Eastman Garbage Man figure because it's not even in the movie. But this is what they revealed for the movie line. They are doing, lack of a better term, they're repacks. This is Leonardo and Shredder in a 2-pack. If you were going around this past summer, or even I guess the last month or two. All of these 2-packs were on sale at Walmart. I don't know what they're doing with this. I know they're just trying to make some more money, and I guess there's completionists out there that'll buy it because it's a different packaging or a different set technically, but these figures have been out for years now. I feel like this is a sign that they are basically done with the movie line. I don't know what else they're going to come out with, but there you go. I guess if you missed either of these or you didn't find them on sale, they're on sale now, or they'll be coming out again. This is not technically a 2-pack, but this is a Casey Jones. And this repack of Casey Jones is coming with this dirt bike. Now, I don't remember him with a dirt bike in the movie. I have to go back and rewatch it for, whatever the 100th time or whatever. I think at one scene he's working on a bike, so maybe that's this. But a while ago, they did a John Connor SDCC figure that had a dirt bike, and I'm pretty sure this is the same exact dirt bike that their John Connor figure came with. And so it is just literally them repackaging and putting it out there for people to buy again. I guess if you need another Casey Jones, there he is. But for me, if I find it, maybe I'll get it for the motorcycle or for the dirt bike, just because that's cool. And I have a John Connor that I wouldn't mind putting on it. But it's an easy pass for me.
What's with the shoe?
That's just a reflection. That's the reflection on the glass, on the plastic inside the case that it was in.
What was it, sitting on the floor or something?
It was on the lowest shelf of this glass case that they had it in. And so I don't know how low it was, but it was obviously low enough that it could pick up the reflection of the person's feet.
But it looks like the shoe. It looks like the shoe right in front of the package in there. That's weird.
Yeah, no.
I mean, you see the tip of it right there. Huh.
You get Casey Jones and shoe.
Hey, apparently sneakers are a thing that people collect. I don't know.
Apparently sneakers are a thing that people pay a lot of money for.
Not me.
So
I
this
buy
is
mine at Walmart.
Oh. So this is the Stump Wrestling, which is part of the Archie line. And they showed a prototype of this at SDCC, but this is Ace Duck from the Stump Wrestling line. They have him here in this in the rink with two of the turtles, and then I think that's Leatherhead behind him. He has alternate faces and all that kind of stuff. What I find alarming is the apparent anatomically correctness of this action figure is very jarring to me. I don't know. It's a little bit much. There are people who are wanting them to make this actual ring for the foot soldiers, and they kind of alluded to maybe that's something down the road that they'll try to do, but they are still coming out with more wrestling figures. All right, and this is confusing. I don't so apparently there is a new comic line that they're doing based off of, it's like the way I understand it, it's a what if version of the 89 90s turtle cartoon. And so this is supposed to be Bad Leonardo. So I guess it's like, what if Leonardo had turned bad in that original cartoon series? And this is what they're making. And so once again, I really think they're running out of stuff for the cartoon line that they think is going to sell. But apparently there's a comic book which is behind the figure where this is what's happening in the comic book, and then this is I guess a fan art version of it or something like that. It sounded very complicated and very convoluted. So yeah, this is again something that I'm not going to be getting, but it's something new that I had no idea was even going to exist. All right. This goes with the Last Ronin stuff. This is my understanding is that this is going to be the bike, which looks awesome, and the figure, which looks okay to me. This is, I could be wrong on the character. My understanding is that this is Casey Jones and April's daughter in this future storyline who fights with the turtles. So that's this. I think at the SDCC they showed the bike, but I don't remember seeing her, and I don't remember seeing them together. But this is a new reveal to me. So if it wasn't new, sorry, but I hadn't seen it before. The bike looks really, really cool. It'd be a lot of fun for pictures and stuff. But the figure, once again, it's not something I collect. It's not something that I'm connected to, so it's an easy pass for me. But that bike looks pretty sweet. Put the biker mice figures from that. All right, this was something that I just saw today, trying to watch coverage, and so these are all NECA Gremlins. Best I can tell, they are just straight up repack. It's a repack of the three. You got Gizmo, Stripe, and then Evil Stripe, for lack of a better term, the Green Gremlin Stripe. And I guess it's 40 years for Gremlins, which is crazy because, that I'm not even 40 yet. So that's crazy that's that old. But you get I think they're all mostly the same accessories from the actual like ultimate versions of the figures. I don't know that Stripe had ever been released, but they did a whole line of Gremlin figures a long time ago when NECA was still early. The Gizmo it's a cute figure, but he has this really weird thing where they tried to make it where you could position his eyes and move his eyes around and stuff. But because of that, his eyes always sink back in his head. And you get this really weird, like, almost looks like Gizmo stoned or something. I don't know. It's a really, I've had the figure before, and it was really alarming when you look at Gizmo and you think he's ODing or something. It's really strange. All right. These were not NECA. I think these are Nacelle. Yeah, these are Nacelle. I wanted to bring these up just because I like Star Trek, and I've talked before about Star Trek and how McFarlane did some really great figures, and they just kind of dropped the line after 2 figures. And so apparently, Nacelle is doing a Star Trek line. And I tried finding more out about it as far as like in a podcast or anything, and I haven't found anything just yet. I recognize the character in the middle, Captain Jellicoe. I don't recognize the other 2. But actually, no, I take that back. I might recognize Captain Garrett now that I see that it's Next Generation. That might be ringing a bell. I don't know what scale these are. I'm really excited about Star Trek figures. I think Star Trek it's a fandom that doesn't get appreciated in the collecting world these days. And I can't be the only one who likes Star Trek. And so I don't know what all's going on with these. I don't know if it's just these 3 figures. It'd be weird if it was just these 3 figures because these are fairly obscure characters. It's not like they're doing Spock and Kirk or anything like that. But they look good to me, and they look at least 6-inch scale, I would say. I'm maybe 7-inch scale, but they look really good. I'm interested in these. These have my attention. So I just wanted to throw them up here. Not NECA, but I wanted to throw them up here.
It is an odd choice not to do at least like one of the main characters or something if they're.
Yeah, and so I don't really know what they're doing. I don't know if it's a likeness rights or if they're just testing the water. But if you're just testing the water, why would you test with this? And I mean, if you like, that could be turned into Janeway easily. I mean.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I thought it was Janeway, and then I looked at it and I thought, no, wait, that's the wrong uniform.
Right, I was like, okay, because I recognize the Jellicoe. I recognize him from the episodes he's in Next Generation, and I was like, okay, yeah, I recognize him. And I was thinking that might be Chekhov to the side, and then Janeway. And I was like, wait, no, that's not them. Yeah. So I don't really know what's going on with these, but it's got my interest. It really does.
Garrett, she had to be from the episode Tapestry where
they go back in time,
where it goes back to when Picard was in the movie series uniforms, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And Midship Peter Preston, I think he got killed. Wasn't he the one that they put Scotty come in there carrying his dead body?
Oh, I have no idea.
If I remember right, they're holding him.
I like Star Trek. I don't get too into the original series, or the
That was
original
the
series
movie, the
movies.
Wrath of Khan.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I've watched them. It's just it's not something. If it's not the main character, I'm not going to remember it. I didn't.
Yeah.
I've watched Next Generation stuff over and over again, but not the original stuff now. But anyhow,
Surely you watched Wrath of Khan, though.
yes, I've watched Wrath of Khan, but not close enough where I can remember, the ensign who got killed on the such and such. I don't know. Listen, okay, here's the truth of the matter. The original Star Trek series is a little hokey for me. The technology and stuff, I wasn't alive when it came out. Y'all have to remember, I'm young compared to all of y'all. I grew up with Next Generation, so I watched that with amazement.
Yeah.
But those I think they look awesome. They look promising. I want to know more about what they're doing with these. This is this. Oh, this is yeah. I know it's not the best movie in the world. I know it's probably the least liked Batman movie of all time. I don't care. I was 12 years old when this movie came out. I was 11 or 12 years old when this movie came out. The marketing campaign worked on me. I wanted all the toys. I still like all the toys. I still like the design of them. Yeah, the movie's horrible. I don't care. This bad boy is happening and it lights up. It makes the sounds. It does not come with the figure, but that I don't care. I have a figure to go next to it already. So yeah, this I am so happy that they're making this one. The only downside is that I will probably now be trying to get rid of my my tumbler because I'd rather have this than the tumbler, which is blasphemous to some people, but I'm going to have the 89, the Forever, and the Batman and Robin Batmobiles all in my little garage. Oh, it's going to be nice. And I may still try to figure out a way to keep the tumbler too because I like it too. I know they're not completely film accurate. I don't care. Don't come for me about the colors and the sheen and it should be this and not. Nope, don't care. This is a 7-inch scale Batmobile. It looks amazing. It lights up. It makes noise. I don't care. I think it's absolutely perfect. That's all.
All right.
I sent other NECA stuff. They didn't really reveal too much else. Let me go check real quick. See if there was anything else that they did reveal that I wanted to mention real quick.
Looks like we lost Shane.
Oh no, it's so two-person event now.
He's got to be lurking around in the background somewhere.
Okay. The other stuff that they released, or not that they released, that they showed the Beetlejuice, the Inferno, Dante's Inferno, the club that he's in front of on the model, which they revealed at SDCC, but this was like they did a whole thing with Beetlejuice. It's on sale right now at the NECA website. It's $150. They're calling it a play set. It lights up. I don't really know who's going to be playing with it, but there's that. The one that I think people would really get into in the group, the Ben Cooper Halloween trick-or-treaters, they are doing a series of them where they are superheroes. So you have like a little kid figure with the Superman smock, the Batman smock, the Batman plastic mask, and they have Batman, Joker, Wonder Woman, Batgirl, and Superman. And they look absolutely adorable. And so those I really liked seeing those. They did a couple of reveals of they did Pee Wee Herman with his box art, Vincent Price with his box art, and then there was a couple of other turtles that weren't on there. But that's fine.
All right.
Can I show my pickup for the week?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so I posted in the group on Facebook, the Alabama toy marks, that I was looking for the not even looking for. I was trying to see if anyone had seen the Batman Reborn Dick Grayson Platinum version where he's got the blue and gray when he's in Batman mode. And so, not to go into too much detail, but I had a rough week 2 weeks ago, and so I was at Walmart and I saw the black and gray version, the traditional or the common version, and I was really tempted to get it because I like Dick Grayson, I like Robin, and I wanted that figure, but I like him better in the blue and gray Batman comic book Batman blue and gray to me, and so I posted in one of my chats with a group of friends, and I had a buddy who happened to have one that he was willing to not get rid of, but that he bought for another buddy, and then the buddy ended up not needing it. So I went ahead and I have a comic book version of Dick Grayson as Batman. And this is, like, even if you didn't know that this was Dick Grayson, this is a solid Batman figure. This is a really, really nice figure. Wired cape. And so it's awesome. The articulation on it's not the best. It's McFarlane, so if you collect McFarlane, you know what you're getting. You've got all the butterfly joints and all the hinges and all that kind of stuff. But my specific reason for wanting him was because they've done the Damian Wayne as Robin, which looks phenomenal. And like I said, I like Robin for whatever reason. And so I really wanted this guy to go with the Damian Wayne, and now I have Red Hood. So I also had to buy Tim to go with Tim Drake as Red Robin to go with them. So now I have a collection of comic book Robins who aren't Robin, which is a weird situation to be in. I also pre-ordered some more McFarlane. The Armored Batman, the Nightmare Batman, the Wonder Woman, the Superman, and Doomsday 2-pack, which I don't really want the Doomsday, but I want Superman with the wired cape because McFarlane has stepped his game up on the wired capes, which are absolutely wonderful. And then the Christopher Reeve Superman. So I was 100% successful on my pre-orders. I got all 5 that I wanted, which is great. I'm very excited to have them in hand. But most importantly, Batman and Robin Batmobile is going on that shelf right there. And it is going to be amazing. I can't wait. So that's mine.
All right. All right. So next up, I think we're going to talk about the Retro Joes. Is that right, Shane? Dr. Mindbender. I kind of wished I had not opened my San Diego Comic-Con Mindbender because I'd rather had this one. It actually looks a little better. And it's funny because Hasbro said they're not going to release Mindbender anymore unless it's an alternate version because they done this one and that was it. And then the next thing you know, they're putting out the retro. So that just goes to show time and time again, Hasbro says one thing and they turn around and do right the opposite. Like within 6 months later, they're saying something. But anyway, I guess money talks and they change their mind when they see if they can make money off of it.
Hasbro needs to make money right now.
Yeah. So anyway, here we go. Dr. Mindbender. And I don't know. I think it looks a little lighter purple on the pants than the one they've already released, maybe. I'd have to compare them side by side to see the difference, but to me, it just looks like the pants are a little lighter purple, maybe.
Yeah,
I believe. What's that?
I believe you're right that it's a lighter purple.
So
with the Retro Joes, how much of the classified line do you think is going to get a retro version? Do you think they're going to go through all of them?
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Because that Retro Duke tempts me every time I see it on the shelf at Walmart.
I think because really like Tomax and Zaymont, I mean, they may turn around and repackage them on retro cards and may do a little tweak to the paint just to make it different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like Jinx. I look for them to do Jinx with the sleeves and look more like the vintage. And some of those. This Viper looks cool. They did do the short sleeves, which a lot of people complained about the Viper that was released on the Viper Cobra Island Viper and the one from the 3-pack. Both had sleeves, and as you know, the vintage one did not have sleeves. It had rolled up sleeves or whatever. So they did make sure to point that out, that this is more accurate to the old action figure, which is cool. And then
this one's color looks just much better than the Cobra Island version.
Yeah, it's a lot brighter red too, which more like the old toy.
To me, I feel like the blues a lot better also.
Yeah, it's sort of lighter. The classifieds that come out there were more dark colored.
Yeah,
it seemed like they've gone lighter with them. Because the first Lady J they put out was a darker, more of an olive green, and then they released a retro carded Lady J with a more brighter green, like the old action figure.
Yeah.
So, I do like this Viper.
I would have loved it if they would have gave him a shiny face mask.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
And then, of course, everybody's been waiting for a retro rock and roll.
And this one looks great too.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much just take the vest off and the tattoos. Mm-hmm. Gave him a little different green there, and it looks much better. I love the retro better than I do the classified right now.
Oh, I do too. Yeah, that's rock and roll that I grew up with right there. That's.
I mean, I do understand the classified is not the original stuff. They're going more futuristic with it, so I mean, it doesn't matter. I like them both, but I like this one better.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, definitely waiting on that one.
Next is going to be the new classified stuff.
All right. So they talked about continuing with the 60th anniversary line, and they're going to do first responders. First one's going to be a firefighter. They did mention another one, which I'm assuming would probably be maybe law enforcement or paramedic, maybe. I don't know. They didn't really say. But they're kind of going.
This is actually the Legacy Collection.
Yeah. That's what they're calling it, the Legacy.
Yeah. The other was the 60th Anniversary Collection. This is going to be the Legacy.
Yeah, because by the time this comes out, it'd be like the 61st anniversary. Mm-hmm. So. This I'm interested in. I was kind of interested in this. The bunker and it comes with a trench Viper, which is basically an alley Viper painted in like blue and gray camo, like urban type camo. It reminds me of one of the alley Vipers that come with, I think the 1997 Toys R Us one that come with their version of the Rage, Cobra Rage. If I remember, he had the sort of like this same color pattern, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the bunker, I wish they'd showed more about it. Of course, this was just a render. They did show a picture, looked like they were stacked. So it looks like you can probably stack them. And it'd be interesting to see what all you can do. And if I understood right, the way that it sounded, they alluded that there were going to be more playset type things that you could combine together. So I'm thinking maybe eventually to make a Cobra base or something.
Probably so.
I'm wondering if, we talked about, they mentioned the hint about the one image they showed, and in the background, all you could see was the G.I. Joe headquarters. So we kind of, we've kind of thrown that idea around about maybe doing modular and selling it off in modules and where you could put it together to make the headquarters. I don't know. Makes me kind of wonder if we're trying to do something similar to that here. But it does interest me. I'm curious about the price point on it. I'm figuring it's going to be at least $50-$60.
Oh yeah, but you can actually see the bottom here has pegs.
Yeah.
Where you can get in the holes on top.
Yeah.
You can stack them up, which would be pretty cool. You can create a tower and whatnot with it.
Yeah. Yeah. They specifically mentioned you could buy multiples, but it just depends on the price point, because a lot of people can't afford to buy multiples of a $60-$70 set.
Exactly.
It also looks like the little spotlight and everything could plug in up top too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm thinking, it'd be cool if they just offered these on their website is without the figure, where you could get them at a decent price. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what they do.
Comes with a spotlight and a
Radar.
A radar dish or
Mm-hmm.
telecommunication dish or something.
Yep. There's a better look at the trench viper.
Yeah.
He is really cool looking though. I like the urban colors.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, right, yeah, to a specific set. So that makes me wonder what that specific set is that they're talking about. Footloose.
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly who it looks like.
He looks more like Pedro Pascal here than he does on the Mandalorian action.
Mandalorian figures. Yeah, he really does.
I was like, wow, that's Pedro right there. But yeah, Footloose is one of my favorite back in the day. So
notice his bazooka's got like the teeth and the eye like on the Tiger Force type.
Yep. You know why? You know why, don't you? Repaint. Easy repaint.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they'll do it more.
Change the weapon.
They'll do it more in the vintage. You probably put him in retro carded, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. And then this was one everybody's wanting.
And this is interesting. So he also comes with. So apparently they're planning a mass device because he's got the element there with the tube to stick over it. And if you're familiar with the 25th anniversary mass device that they did, you buy the box sets. There was like 4 of them. And you put the mass device together, the pieces to it. And some of the figures, Tripwire came with one, Cobra Commander came with one. And I think it was Snake Eyes that come with the third element in those things, and you could attach them to that mass device that you built from those 4-packs. Yep. I'm wondering if they're looking at something similar to this, where they'll be selling the mass devices like a Build-A-Figure type thing. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, or maybe they just do the mass device with a figure, maybe a Destro or something. Who knows?
I just want the bear.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the selling point to this. I think everybody's going to want that bear.
Yep.
And with how good the G.I. Joe animals have been, that bear looks awesome.
And they pointed out that he has the glow-in-the-dark hands, or the translucent, like they're radiated. Okay, yeah. So the HasLab that they just launched, the Ecto 1. Okay, we're going back to the Joes. What we doing here, Shane? You confusing me.
I don't know what's going on.
So, they said the first ever 6-inch scale Ecto 1. I guess technically, well, I don't know, is it? Because Mattel actually done a Kickstarter or a fundraiser, not a Kickstarter, but a Fund Me type back about 10 years ago for Ecto 1, and it did not fund. That's why it did not get made. So I guess technically, if this one does get funded and gets made, yeah, it would be the first 6-inch scale, I suppose. But it's not the first attempt at a 6-inch scale Ecto 1. Because Mattel did try it when they had the license and they were doing the 6-inch Ghostbusters figures. So I know I backed one of them. Of course, I was disappointed when it didn't get funded, but of course my wallet wasn't. But this one, I think I looked at it and I think the price point was $324.99.
They have 2 different versions of it. They have the one where it's just the car, Slimer, and the librarian for the $325 or whatever it is. But then the deluxe one where you can change it into Ecto 1A from the second movie and comes with the 4 Ghostbusters in their second movie uniforms. I think that one's like $399.
Yeah, that's the special edition, I think.
Yeah.
Because they got the standard and the
deluxe, the premium or whatever it is. Yeah. Which to me, if you're going to pay $325, $399 and getting all the extras with it, I don't
Well,
understand back in 325.
$75 more and you're getting 4 more figures, so, which is $100.
4 more figures and alternate stuff to change the car too.
Right.
I mean, I just think that's
Well, you know what a lot of people's going to do? They're going to buy one of each so they can have both. So
true.
But not me. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to pass on this one. I hate it. I
don't collect Ghostbusters, so I'm good.
I want one just for the sound effects. I
Mm-hmm.
love because it's got a distinct sound. That siren is a distinct. You hear that siren, you think Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it looks great. I mean, if you're a Ghostbuster fan, y'all been complaining for years now. This is your chance.
Yep, this is your chance. But I'm gonna have to pass on it this go around because it's just
Yeah.
not good time. And you think they would learn not to do one right before Christmas? I don't understand. It's like, I don't know. We'll see. If they don't do any other HasLabs, this one may very well fund because the Ghostbuster stuff does seem to fund. The Proton pack, it funded right before Christmas, so maybe this
But
one will.
they also might be thinking Dad's a Ghostbuster fan and this is what he wants for Christmas, so spend the $400 to make Dad happy.
Yeah, so he'll get it in 2027 for Christmas. Because if they get it out, if they put it ends right at the end of December, then it'll be not next Christmas, but the next, because it won't come out until like March of 26.
True.
The way they're running with their HasLabs right now. So I don't know. You think eventually they'd wise up and do their HasLabs around March when people get their income tax back. But
I don't know. I think HasLabs might be going away for a while with the new, back pre-order system that they're doing. But that set that looks awesome.
I do really like this, the Slimer and the Library Ghost. The Library Ghost is really cool.
Yeah.
And, that's the first time they'd ever done that figure, so it would be cool. But
then they did just do the 3.75 Ecto one, right?
I think so. I think that didn't they do one with those O-ring Ghostbusters?
The O-ring figures are supposed, like, I still haven't seen anybody find the O-ring figures though.
Yeah. I have not either. I don't know. I don't know if was those exclusive to Pulse. I don't know.
I don't know. I know a couple people who found the Ecto ones at GameStops. But then I've never seen anybody find the actual O-ring figures. So I don't know what's happened with those.
Yeah. I picked up that Ecto one they put out here back when the oh gosh, what was the not the last one, but the one before it.
Yeah.
Afterlife. When it come out, and I thought it was going to be 6-inch scale, but it turned out not to be. It's probably more 5-inch scale. But they put it out along with a 6-inch figure, so I'm like, that made no sense to me why they done that. But hey, whatever.
Like I said, I don't collect the Ghostbusters. I had some of the Diamond Select ones for a while, but I don't even have those anymore.
Yeah. But it is a cool set, and I'm glad for all the people that want it. Like I said, I would love to have one, but number one, I don't have any room for it. Number two, I don't have the money for it right now, so it's just it's out of my wheelhouse right now. But for all the ones that want it, I hope it gets funded for them. It was already at like 41% when I looked at it earlier. So.
Yeah, they have a fairly small goal for it. It's not like an unobtainable. It doesn't seem like an unobtainable number.
I will say the Mattel one was. I'm trying to remember how much it was, but I think it was probably up around the $450 range when they done it. And like I said, that was like 10 years ago, back when they had the rights and they were doing the I forget what they called theirs, but they were.
Where they had the Build a Ghost thing or whatever with them?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't do the Build a Ghost. They were through Matty Collector, just like the Masters of the Universe Classics and those. They were doing them through that because they done a lot. I mean, they done quite a few figures, if I remember right. But unfortunately, like I said, it didn't get funded back then. And it is neat that you can swap it out and make it the Ghostbusters 2 Ecto one as well. That's kind of neat.
Now, this is your base model here
Mm-hmm.
for $329 or whatever it was, and then your deluxe model
Mm-hmm.
for $399. Yeah, go for the deluxe.
Yeah, I think the value's on the deluxe there.
What is that in the right there, right below the front bumper? Is that
Different
Yeah.
hubcaps.
okay? That's what I was going to say. Is that different hubcaps?
Yep.
I guess it okay. Huh. Swap out the hubcaps too.
And then you get the gurney and the 4 figures and 6 packs and the effects. So,
And then they have an early backing thing right now where you get a Tully with it. If it gets funded by a certain point, I don't know what the point is, but you have a Tully who's wearing the Ghostbuster 1 uniform.
Yeah, 2 weeks, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's wearing a Ghostbusters outfit. The previous Tully that was released is a 2-pack with one of the dogs.
And he's just he has like the crazy hair and everything in it.
He's got that thing on his head. That, remember that Egon put on him, and the blue jacket or sweater jacket or whatever. It is cool though. I mean, 22.5 inches long. It's almost 2 foot long, almost 10 inches tall. I mean, that's pretty big. I mean, it's pretty good size.
Now,
that's the base model.
Oof.
The deluxe model's a little taller.
Yeah, 11.2 because all the extra stuff. I do like that the scrolling.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're ready. That's pretty neat too. I mean, it is cool. It's cool. Like I said, I just don't have the space for it, and I sure ain't got the money for it. But if I did, I'd definitely jump on that. But what else we got there, Shane? Okay. So, next is the
talk of the
Sentinel.
town.
Everybody's excited about this Sentinel. I think it's 22 inches tall.
Around that, yeah.
Yeah. I think the HasLab one was 32 inches, I believe, if I remember. Or
yes,
28.
This is shorter than the HasLab, but it's taller than the Build-A-Figures, is what I've been told.
Yeah, I think Galactus was 32 inches. I think the Sentinel was 28, if I remember right. But yeah, it's more. Of course, it's X-Men '97, so it's based off the cartoon. So it's got more of a cartoonish look to it. I saw some people talking about wanting to be able to swap out the HasLab helmet heads on them, but I'm like, I mean, it's probably going to look extra big because.
Well, but if you have the HasLab, you could put the what is the Sentinel that makes all the other Sentinels? Yeah. They gave you that head with the HasLab,
the master mold, right?
Yeah, get a couple of these, and there you go. You're good.
Yeah, put the master. But that's what I would do if I had the HasLab one. I would put the master mold head on it and have master mold, and then
maybe and have a couple of these and a couple of the Build-A-Figures. Yeah, you know, be out a few $1,000s, but hey.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean it's cool and all, but I'll probably be passing on it because I think it's like $200 and something.
I didn't think it was even 200.
Seemed like I saw it was something. I believe. Let me see. Is it listed on Pulse yet? I can't remember. Let me look real quick. Maybe it was $199.
It's $175.
$175.
Okay, well, it is one. I could have sworn I saw 200 on something.
eBay.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. People probably got it listed on eBay for that. Yep, and it's an exclusive pre-order, so I'm thinking it's going to be like Dragon Man. They're going to make whatever
that was
pre-order.
The impression I got, that it's that they're doing. You've got this amount of time to order, however many you want to.
Yep.
I've got a couple of buddies who are ordering 4, which they're doing better than me, but.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just a humble school teacher.
Yeah. More power to them if they can order that.
Hey, let me come over to your house and play one day.
There you go. Yeah,
I think they look great. And X-Men '97 is based enough off of the comic book. If you have the Jim Lee style figures already, you can go right in with the comic book figures too.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed that this was really all they showed for Marvel Legends at New York Comic Con, and kind of disappointing that, you think they'd at least do some name drops or something, or give us a little idea of what's coming next. Because I've noticed it seems like when they show a Build-A-Figure wave, that Build-A-Figure wave hits like within a month or so afterwards. So they're not they're kind of keeping us close to the chest, I guess you'd say, and not really putting anything out there until like I said, a month or two before they come out. It's not like G.I. Joe's where mention a name like a year and a half ahead of time, and then finally get around to the render reveal and then the figure, over about a 9-month period, and then they put them up for pre-order for like 6 months, and then of course they usually ship them like 2 months earlier, but. But yeah, it's just I don't know. Overall, I was kind of disappointed on the Marvel Legends and the G.I. Joe that they didn't mention or show more. I mean, they did show more G.I. Joe than they did the Marvel Legends. Now, one thing we didn't mention when we were looking at the G.I. Joe is that Emily did say, and let's see, I think I got a snapshot of it here. Let me see if I can pull it up, read it word for word for what it said. Let me look here. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, so she did put this on the screen, and it said, due to unexpected shifts in production, many of our 2025 G.I. Joe product shipments will be delayed in. That don't make sense. We're working hard to minimize the delay, and we'll keep you updated. We appreciate the support of the G.I. Joe fan community. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So something's going on that they're delaying the 2025 G.I. Joe products. And I don't know why, because there was no mention of this delay with the Marvel Legends or the Star Wars or any of the other lines. Why it's just the G.I. Joe line, I don't know. It's got everybody kind of curious and everybody wondering, are they about to cancel the line? Are they about to reboot the line? Are they about to do something different with the line? Something going on? I don't know. I guess only time will tell. But it is very interesting that they, like I said, that they mentioned that for G.I. Joe, but not any of the other properties that they're using. So, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. What do you guys think? Y'all got any thoughts on it?
I'm not sure right now.
Hasbro's weird to me, the way that they have everything like compartmentalized. That you have Legends doing its own thing, you have G.I. Joe doing its own thing. It wouldn't surprise me if they're not using totally different factories, and maybe the factories that G.I. Joe used ran into some kind of problem or something like that. Because it always seems weird to me with Hasbro that like the way that they design figures for one property isn't the same as another. And I know you have different people in charge and all that kind of stuff, but it almost feels like they're competing with themselves sometimes. And so it wouldn't surprise me if they're not using different factories or something, and it's just happened with their factories, or could even be that the other lines just aren't telling you that they're going to be delayed. I mean, it's been how long since you've seen Build-A-Figure lines in or waves in stores?
Maybe we'll let this guy tell us.
Look, there's Dave.
I figured it'd be a good time to pop on. I was kind of talking with John and Shane earlier, and I was just saying I probably ought to. This whole subject's been stuck in my craw, which is not a good thing right now. So,
you had surgery about your craw.
Yeah. So, anyways, I did want to take a minute. You guys have been doing great, by the way. Corey too. I wanted to try to pop on and talk about this tonight because that statement that you just showed the slide from that Emily popped up with during the event, if that's what you want to call it, on Friday night, it's kind of stirred up some discussion, and I think it's worth talking about because this isn't the greatest lighting. You guys will have to forgive me. There's definitely something going on at Hasbro. Specifically with the classified line, and either coincidentally or ironically or both, sometime in the last couple of weeks, Bobby Valla was showing off some unproduced Hasbro Joes when he was working at Hasbro and dealing with that. And like I said, either coincidentally or ironically, he was discussing basically the exact same thing that's happening right now when the line got dropped. that they have a tendency in the past to want to run through the figures that are already in the production process, which they've told us repeatedly is like 12 to 14 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
From speculation to design to production samples to, to the door of the end customer. Just for giggles, I looked at some of the comments revolving around this notion, and I'm actually gonna stay positive with this notion that classified may have actually already been canceled. Nerdzoic, actually, and he's a good guy. He knows a lot about the toy racket. He made some comments too that somewhere along the lines, and I wasn't on his channel. It was someplace else. Apparently, he had made some statements apparently that were kind of alluding to the same idea that it looks like that there's a possibility that the classified line has been canceled. Have you got that second slide, Shane, of the leaked production? You guys see this? When I get all grown up and I get back for real, I want to go over this list. If you look at this list, this is very much so. This was Full Force Podcast. I'm giving credit where credit's due. This is the leaked listings for the 2025, and you can see the first four there are the ones we already know about. This is the last batch that went up for pre-order, and Frag Viper, Blowtorch, Darklong, Footloose. Two of those just got announced 2 days ago. So this is so far it's been pretty accurate. Excuse me. This looks exactly like the last 2 years of releases. If you look at the numbers, and again, I'll explain what the exclusives are and all of that other stuff. It looks exactly the same. Now, if you operate under the assumption that the guys in production were just going about their business over a year ago to produce and get ready for 2025, this last year would look exactly like every other year before it, because of course they wouldn't have any advance warning that something was going to change. Let me try to do this. My hand is turning into a headlight here, and that's never a good thing. So it's an interesting idea that Hasbro may very well be just running these to the end, because the fact of the matter is they already got money sunk into them. Then we get the delay. And this is an interesting thing, because if you guys remember, and it's still listed this way, the last pre-orders, Xandar, Sawbiker, Leatherneck, and Dialtone, everybody has those listed as a release date of October 2025. Mm-hmm. And I know a couple of us had this discussion on the side where we were kind of laughing about that, as in it's a typo. It's obvious that it must mean December, or actually it must mean October of 2024. The story is, as it goes right now, that's actually an accurate release date.
Yep.
So I'm really not sure what has happened to production. I don't know what a production shift is. If they're trying to say they changed factories or something along those lines, it actually doesn't make any sense. Another thing that didn't really make a whole lot of sense was Emily talking about having to rely on notes to get through her presentation, because she hadn't had anything to do with that line, specifically G.I. Joe Classified, in a year. Mm-hmm. Well, she was at San Diego Comic-Con with her feet on the couch, if you guys remember correctly. She was around in February during one of the lives. Doris definitely does. Yep. So we all know that kind of quietly that she'd been moved off of Classified, right? Mm-hmm. But then when she introduces herself on Friday evening, She tells everybody that she's part of the marketing team for all of the non-Disney product lines, but she hasn't had anything to do with classified in a year.
Yeah.
How does that make any sense?
Yeah, it don't make any sense to me at all.
It doesn't make any sense. And she, anytime some of this crap starts coming on, people start using the word transparent.
Oh yeah.
Right? Anytime anybody tells you they're going to be transparent with you, you can guarantee they're not. Right? I mean, we're all grown-ups here. The fact of the matter is anytime anybody says, we're going to be perfectly transparent about this, you can call BS on that right now, because if you're going to be transparent, you don't need to say it. Right?
Yep.
That's a pitch. And we're all, like I said, we're all grown-ups. We all get that. You know, that's a pitch of some kind somewhere. The move, when the news came out in the regular financials that Hasbro was going to leave Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and head to Boston, wasn't my neck of the woods. Trust me, every Mainer worth his salt hates every masshole that's ever been born. But we know enough about Massachusetts to get an idea or make a comment here and there. Route 128 is a 55-mile bypass around Boston proper. Runs almost parallel to 93 a lot of the ways. That comes from the old trucking days. But anyways, it was always referred to the technology mile, even though it went on for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. My speculation was they want to go to Boston to be closer to all of those tech companies just to the west and the west side of the city. And I got bored today because this thing, again, stuck in my craw. I went and I looked at the board for Hasbro. The vast majority of them come from an IT digital video game background, right? Mm-hmm. And when Cox, the CEO of the company, made statements with just in the last month that, you know, the 21st century for Hasbro is to go all digital gaming. They want to be a digital gaming company, and talks about how far ahead they are than any other toy company because they've already spent hundreds of millions of dollars on this direction. That really leads me to believe that maybe that assumption of this move to Boston is correct. They want to go there because they want to be closer to all of those technology companies. It doesn't have anything to do with toy production. There's definitely something going on at Hasbro, and I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they had the classified line's dead, but there's something very, very strange with Emily's comments, this potential move to Boston, this delay, this production delay, and I have to tell you, the legacy line, this changeover from the 60th anniversary to the legacy line, and she said it basically that they're going to now focus, the legacy line is going to focus on first responders, which are all civilian positions. I think there may be some, agree with them or not, really doesn't matter, it can still be a fact, that there may be some politics floating around through Hasbro corporate, that the attitude, and we've done, John can attest to this, we've been through this before. The attitude towards military toys has gone sour. The fact of the matter is that's what killed the original 12-inch line back in the early 70s, and they went to the action stuff, right, where he was going to be just a man of action, right? Not heavily tied to the military, and then of course a real American hero. If you guys have studied any of the history, you'll see that there was a huge segment of Hasbro corporate that were adamantly against reviving the G.I. Joe brand as strictly a military line because of the politics of it all. So I'm not being alarmist. Don't get me wrong. I don't think this is being alarmist. I think there's something going on at Hasbro, specifically at this point in time, specifically with the classified line that, as they say, stinks. I'll leave it at that. It just stinks, right? Something doesn't smell right about any of this, especially if the last pre-orders are literally 12 months away. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. Don't get me wrong. I think that may be an estimate on their part, but if that's even remotely true, the dates that we get, I think the tale is going to be told in the next 8 days, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The pre-orders pop up on Tuesday, correct, guys? 22nd.
Right.
So noontime.
I mean, next Tuesday.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, Tuesday, 2 days from now, right? 22nd.
Yeah, 22nd. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Noontime our time.
Right.
I'm certainly not going to discourage anybody from pre-ordering by all means. While you're there, pay attention to that release date. If that release date is way into 2025, that's going to confirm that something has gone terribly wrong here, because this makes no sense. We all know it. It was reported last year that Joe was in the 3 profitable lines for all of Hasbro. Everything else was hemorrhaging cash.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars is a sucking chest wound. It's losing so much cash, right? What was it? It was Play-Doh. It was Joe's, Play-Doh, and what was the
board
third?
games?
Yeah, the board games. That was it. Those were the profitable lines. But we all know this for a fact. If it's political, money doesn't get in the way of the politics of it all. So pay attention on Tuesday. Pay attention on Tuesday to see what kind of dates they come up with for this next batch of pre-orders. Last year, do you guys remember, within a week, we had New York, which was right? I mean, New York last year was
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that popped up in London Comic-Con 1 week later.
Mm-hmm.
Next weekend is London Comic-Con. If we don't see a bunch of new stuff at London Comic-Con next week, I think that's going to be another huge check mark to something's really seriously wrong here. And then, of course, the 27th, which after the fact, a lot of the brand managers and stuff, Tony did it. The little short guy that's in the art division, the artist development for Joe team. You know who I'm talking about. Lenny's Robin. He made the statement that a lot of the stuff all of the stuff that everybody's going to be excited for is going to show up at the PulseCon, not the PulseCon, but the fan stream on the 27th, which again is a week away. So, this is where I think Nemesis Immortal is going to go up for pre-order. I think the Claws are going to go up for pre-order. I think we may see physical versions of the Fang, because we know the Fang is coming. They said it. I think we may get more digital reveals. But the catch is going to be, look at the release dates. If we're set way, way, way into 2025, you guys are going to know that the whole line is in danger. If it hasn't already been canceled, which is I hate to say this, there is a lot of speculation out there from guys in the toy racket that are flat out saying that Classified has been canceled. They're just running through the production run. That's it. Which is 12 to 14 or 16 months, whatever they said it was. So I don't know. I certainly hope not.
I'm hoping that, well, what it says here, the due to unexpected shifts, like everybody else said, it's just there may be changing plants where they're producing the Joes at.
Right.
But
right.
Also, if that's the case, are they producing Joes at just a certain plant and other lines at others?
See, that's a strange thing, isn't it, Shane? How come it's just the Joe line?
I wouldn't think they would be producing every one at a different facility, which they could be.
But Hasbro has them all compartmentalized too. Like it's like they don't talk to each other. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're not all at a different factory, different plant.
I'm sure they are, because there's my understanding there's several toy factories that produce toys in China.
Yeah.
Well, the fact of the matter is this may simply be that shift from China to India or China
Taiwan.
to
That's what I'm wondering. That's what I was looking at.
Right. I mean,
because a lot of their stuff, like I know the Marvel Legends, it comes out of Taiwan.
yeah.
So I mean, maybe they're shipping the Joe stuff there also. I don't know. It's a lot of speculation, really. You know.
And then as
Well, it's
far as
interesting.
the as far as
this newest waves from China on the Marvel Legends, it's got China on the.
Oh well.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I thought maybe they're trying to get out of China and go to Taiwan, and
It's entirely possible. That's exactly what's happening.
But yeah, it looks like, I mean, there's the Marvel Legends are produced in China too. This newest wave, they got China on them.
But I mean, honestly, guys, think about this. I mean, let's get realistic here. How stupid or desperate or whatever motivation you want to come up with, how misguided is it to make a major change in production or even risk a major change in production on the one boy action figure line that you have that's profitable? Boy, that's some really stupid. That's some stupid timing right there.
Yeah.
Think about that though. That boy, I wouldn't risk the one thing that's selling without making sure every T was crossed and I dotted before I moved. I can't even imagine being that dumb. But if you, like I said, there's something weird here. What do they say? There's something rotten in Denmark. I mean, when you get this, you get the date on the last pre-orders. You get this whole move to Boston, which is highly publicized. I mean, that's a, plus all of the comments from the board, plus the makeup of the board, which is all new as of 2023 for the most part. There's something going on. There's definitely something going on. That
they did the same thing with the like long-term pre-order dates with Star Wars back right after COVID, when everything was having shipping delays. I guess they had so many fans complain about pre-orders not coming in on the date that they're supposed to, that Star Wars, they started saying like, look, this is 2027, you'll get it by 2027. They were putting it years and years and years.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So I'm wondering if maybe this switching plants or something that might be happening on the good side might be happening. I could see them doing, okay, we want to do pre-orders, but we know we have this plant shift coming up, blah, 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 trying to go to Taiwan instead of China, whatever the case may be. If they're predicting a stoppage in production for whatever reason, I could see them doing a delayed pre-order. Or see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Well, no, I mean, I think there's I agree with you. There's a strong chance that this October 2025 thing is almost like a worst case scenario.
That's what I'm thinking too.
They threw out there
Exactly.
to take the heat off of them.
Because I don't know if y'all have seen, but there are podcasts that complain about the helicopter getting delayed all the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not sure that the Dragonfly has actually been delayed. It certainly hasn't been delayed as bad as the Rattler. Who knows about that? The his tank was. But I think that I mentioned this to you guys earlier privately. I think Hasbro, whatever the reason is for all of this, and it may be completely innocent, that it's just coincidental that they want the tax breaks in Massachusetts, and it's just coincidental that the board is who they are, and it's just coincidental that Cox has made the statements he has, and it's just coincidental that they're shifting production. I'll give you all of that. The fact of the matter is Hasbro has to be walking a real razor's edge tightrope with this, because I can tell you right now, You start telling people up front, let's be transparent. You start telling people you're going to wait a year for your next wave of figures, there will be mass cancellations of that Rattler.
Oh yeah, I believe so.
I mean, look, we're just big kids. You tick us off, and there's going to be a consequence for it. That would tick everybody off. So Hasbro's got to be walking a razor line here. That's another odd thing. Do you remember Emily? Emily, who hasn't had anything to do with the line for a year, told everybody on the first day of the HasLab, go ahead and order it now. Even if you can't pay for it, you can always cancel it before the end of the campaign.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Now, we talked about that. It's just like, what in the world kind of marketing is that for a pre-order that has a specific goal to reach, a specific production goal to reach? It's go ahead and order it now. So we didn't even have an early bird with that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like the whole thing has been very strange. And now she's saying she hasn't had anything to do with the line in a year.
Right.
Well, that was just a few months ago.
Yep.
Something, whatever it is, gentlemen, something's rotten in Denmark. So,
I agree.
Specifically with the classified line, it's not in Star Wars, it's not in Transformers, it's not in the Wizards of the Coast stuff. I never heard anybody make that statement, Mason. Honestly, that was shocking for somebody in marketing with basically what amounts to a crowdfunding campaign to tell everybody, go ahead and order it even if you can't pay for it, and then just cancel it before the end of the campaign. That was a weird thing to say. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she did say that, but I never heard it.
That makes me almost think that they've already started production on the Rattler, and she's saying they got to get the numbers to justify the fact that they jumped the gun and started production on it.
It's entirely possible because we know last year at London Comic-Con, the production version, not the prototype, but the actual production version of the Dragonfly was shown in London 12 months ago. We still don't have it.
Right.
Because they made a point of saying, this is the production Dragonfly. This is not the prototype that was shown at Comic-Con or at PulseCon, whichever one it was last year. It's very, very strange. Whatever it is that's going on corporately and specifically with this line is very strange. This is going to probably sound strange after me saying all of that stuff. The reason I wanted to come on here is I wanted to actually encourage people. I wanted to give you all of the information that's kind of floating around in my noggin about the whole thing. But at the same time, believe it or not, I want to encourage people not to get too down on classified. I don't want you to stop pre-orders because the line's dead or might be dead or these rumors are true or whatever. The fact of the matter is, and this is a fact, we still have a year or if not more, a little more, depending on these delays, of cool product that's in the slate, in the production process. John has mentioned this a few times. If you look at their, that's it's like, it's like John was saying, this seems to be the cycle that Hasbro runs. They have this 4 to 5 year cycle for each line.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just kind of just ends. If you look at 2025, that definitely fits within that cycle.
That's 5 years.
Yeah, I mean that fits within that cycle. So this may not be anything out of the ordinary at all for Hasbro. That's basically from what I read. That is exactly what Nerd Zoic said, and that is what Bobby Valla was saying. That this is exactly what John has said. This is the cycle that Hasbro has. For whatever reason, this is what they do, and that's it. These are not licensed products. Remember, they own G.I. Joe. So it's not like they're stuck with a 10-year license like Star Wars or I can't even imagine how complicated the contracts are with Transformers. I guarantee you the contracts with Transformers probably make the Disney contracts look like a coloring book. But I don't know. Something's going on, but don't let it stop you from pre-ordering or buying Joe's, because it may be inevitably done already. We just don't know it yet. There's still according, that leaked list, which is looking very accurate so far. That's a ton of product for 2025. We're going to find out, but watch those dates. Watch those dates in the next in the next week, right? Week, 10 days.
Yep.
I think that's going to tell a lot of the story. And that's kind of it. I believe it or not, I don't want anybody getting down on the line because it may be over, because it's not. There's still a ton of stuff to come. They showed whatever that was. There was some kind of surprise picture that they showed of some type of something, which I'm guessing is probably the mass device. It was that gray scale plastic.
It looks a lot like an All Striker to me.
Do you have it?
No, I didn't download it because I didn't want the speculation on it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, she did specifically say that the plan was, whatever that means, that it would be like John was talking about with the 25th figures. Each specific figure came with one of the canisters, and then the cart pieces to the cart. Remember, and then the DVD sets had the empty canisters, right, John?
Yeah,
right. They come with,
and then pieces of the mass device too.
Yeah,
right.
So, but again, that's what she said the plan was. I'm not sure that's going to happen. But is the polar bear, from what you can see, John, is the polar bear the owl bear with a different head?
I don't know. I'd have to actually get one in hand and compare it, but the body does look similar to it. They may just tuck the mold and tweak it. Yeah.
See, I never paid attention to the owl bear enough to say for sure.
I think
the owl bear is small at the back end of it and bigger at the front.
Yeah, and it's more rounded on top too.
I don't think it's the same sculpt at all.
But again, this is just a digital render, so
right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not
right.
not
Exactly. What's the scale of this bear? That's the thing. I mean, I don't even know how big he is compared to a 7-inch snake eyes, which is cool. And the hands are translucent, which is actually cool. They kind of got that color on the inside of them.
We all know a polar bear is huge compared to a human being.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of odd that they're doing this because this is based strictly off the cartoon.
It is.
Whereas Super 7 is kind of doing the cartoon figure. So does that mean Super 7's not going to be doing them anymore? Or?
Super 7 seems to be cutting back on a lot of stuff here lately.
That just kind of makes me wonder.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if they're doing that snake eyes, are they gonna have the Eskimo or whatever he was, the blind guy that saved him? I mean, are they gonna make him with his dog sled? Now, that would be cool, a 6-inch dog sled. I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Well, let's face it. Between the timber molds, they've got the husky molds that they could use.
Mm-hmm.
Shrink them a little bit. Hey, it's a husky, not a wolf. I don't know. It's a strange. I guess we kind of knew Darklon was in the works, right? I think that had kind of leaked somehow, some way. A while ago. I have to tell you, Crystal Ball. Yes, exactly. Right. Shane just nailed it with that.
Really?
A lot of people was asking for Crystal Ball, though. That's what was weird to me.
Well, that's
Emily's favorite character.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a fantastic job with Raptor. Don't get me wrong. I mean, and if they can do something like that with Crystal Ball, that would be great. But boy, that's a weird choice, isn't it? We got the OG 13 still isn't finished, and we're going to get Dark Lawn and Crystal Ball. It's very weird.
A Dark Lawn is an Iron Grenadier, so
yeah.
I mean that's they're moving towards that line now. So
I don't understand, because we know they got, based off the Dragonfly, the accessories for Glenda, that they're going to have the Flash's gear. So they got to be doing Flash soon. If they do Flash, they'll do Grand Slam.
yeah, because I mean they're basically the same person.
Yeah.
Well, look, can you pull up that list that shows the retro carded numbers, Shane? Have you got it right handy?
Just one second.
That list over in the bottom right hand corner was all retro classified. And there you can see.
Well, I see.
There's 3,
here.
and then Flint.
Yeah, Flint. Yeah,
Right.
you got Good Feathers, which tells me that's probably a spirit.
He says
Feathers.
they said that when I listened to this podcast, which was entirely too long to be perfectly honest with you,
Good Feathers.
he broke all of this down, and he said that in previous years there was some kind of connection between these code names and the character. He said they did away with that. He said that all of these code names are completely random, and don't have anything to do with the characters anymore, because an awful lot of people apparently were guessing right. Yeah. So they just kind of they did away with that. So
I would say Hello Nurse.
Hello, Nurse.
That's Animaniacs characters.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you look at
Pinky in the Brain, Elmira, those were all Mindy. Those were all Animaniacs references. There's a bunch of Scooby-Doo references in this one, Hanna-Barbera stuff. They've used Lord of the Rings. They've used a bunch of different stuff. I didn't realize this, but did you guys know that each store exclusive had a certain brand code names attached to it, and they still do? The code names for different stores are all linked.
American Made Terror.
Yeah, that's right. So some
the
of that
Tick, isn't it?
Chairface was the Tick. Yep.
Yep.
So, and then there's actually Gargoyles references in here: Goliath, Lexington. So they were all over the place with these ones. But if you see, those are the retro carded for 2025. So you have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
9
that are undiscovered. 5 that are unknown. So maybe, right? Maybe Flash and Short Fuse are in there. Grand Slam. Maybe. I will tell you this. Scroll up. There was one in here that it's a weird listing, because for some reason it ends up having both the Target and Walmart exclusive stickers to codes to it. No, it's over on the other side, I think, Shane. I think it's going to be, see these, that Fish Boy Deluxe Troop Builder. There's something weird about that one, because right now it's TT. You see the TT, the third column, TT? Uh-huh. That third column designates what store it's exclusive to. But it says TT, and then over here at the very end of it, that P is in parentheses. That's Pulse.
Right.
Now, this one, that Fish Boy Deluxe Troop Builder pack has shown up as an exclusive in 3 different categories in the last few months. It showed up as a Walmart exclusive. It showed up as a Target exclusive. Now it's showing up as both Target and Pulse exclusive. So there's something weird with that one. And the Fish Boy and the Arthur Deluxe, do you see it? The San Diego Comic-Con?
Mm-hmm.
The speculation is, and I was going to go over this, but it's not like we don't have the time. But this Arthur Deluxe, the speculation on that one is Grand Slam with the jump pack set for Comic-Con next year. That Troop Builder, do you notice it doesn't say 2-pack? It just says Troop Builder pack.
Yeah.
There was something, boy. Pain meds are a necessity in these instances, but they don't do a whole hell of a lot of good. There's something up with that Fish Boy Deluxe, that Troop Builder pack. There was something else with that that there was some speculation that might have something to do with OG 13 too, because of other things that had been listed elsewhere. So
that could be Grand Slam with a jump jetpack.
Well, it's definitely going to be a deluxe.
It's definitely going to be a deluxe, right?
Yeah.
But somehow, some way, that Arthur Deluxe, they were talking about that being the jump pack, the OG jump pack.
That Fish Boy Deluxe might be the MMS.
That could be
right.
But it says Troop Builder though, right?
It does say Troop Builder, which I think they were kind of alluding to the fact that wasn't accurate because it hadn't been there before and blah, blah, blah. There was something very, very strange about that listing.
Then the Goliath here is a vehicle.
Right. Right.
It's got the vehicle lettering beside it.
Yep.
That we've seen 100 times.
Yep. And that one is the GG, which is fan channels.
Mm-hmm.
And Pulse, and that one makes sense because Pulse exclusives were always shared with, unless they were exclusively Pulse, but all the fan channel ones were shared with Pulse. So that's what I was trying to say. And
I'm noticing a lot of 2-packs on here.
There is a lot of them, isn't there?
You've got the Brooklyn here with 2-pack, a Lexington 2-pack, Cartman 2-pack, Unknown 2-pack.
Yep. There's a ton. It's almost like. It's almost like they're in a hurry to get out a lot of figures next year.
Oh, here you get the Simpsons.
Right.
And SS is Walmart, correct?
I'd have to look it up, Shane.
I think it was.
Those
Walmart.
are like these the first three in the red. If you back up, you'll see who it is. These are the general release ones. Everybody gets these.
Yeah. Okay.
So SS is general release.
SS was the general release. That's right.
Yes. Right. I'm sorry, guys. I'll have to look it up. But there's your heavy duty.
And there's another pet and another deluxe.
Quinn, I would love to think that's Quinn, but Trent and Pat, that might be Snake Eyes with the polar bear.
Could be.
Or it's just listed as Quinn would be an interesting name to use for Snake Eyes and the polar bear. But I'm just not sure. I don't know what RR Tommy is. Legacy RR Tommy. I have no idea what that is.
That's the firefighter. And then Angelica.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I was looking at that second number. Okay, never mind. I thought that was two different listings there for some reason.
Yeah.
And that Angelica, John's probably right. That's probably the police officer.
Probably.
That will be along in that line.
Or paramedic.
Or a paramedic, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I got a feeling it'll be one of those two.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because let's face it, to tell you the truth, as far as first responders go, it's not particularly diverse. I mean, so yeah, I mean, there's still five retro carded slated for 2025 that are unknown, and a real good chance that every stinking one of them's a repaint. So, and again, so I mean, I think that's kind of the way they're going to go. But I have to tell you, I'm absolutely thrilled and excited over that rock and roll. I think they did a great job with that.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic looking.
So, tell you the truth, based on what was announced this past weekend, this list doesn't really change a whole lot because everything was already there.
Yeah.
He did point out that Nemesis Enforcer is not on this list because somehow, some way, Nemesis Enforcer is still listed as a 2024 figure.
Yeah.
Nemesis Immortal, I'm sorry. So he's not on here, even though it's looking like we're not going to see him until 2025. But that's Nemesis Enforcer isn't in this mix, if that makes any sense to you guys. I hope so. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry, Mason. No, I don't know why. Like I said, I'm here, but I'm not. For some reason, I was thinking that was two separate listings when it says RR Tommy Dash and then the number. My brain went to two separate listings for some reason.
Blame it on the pain meds.
Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Not that it's not accurate either. So,
but I'm pretty sure one of these 2-packs is going to be 2 guards for the Royal Guards for the Cobra Law people.
oh, it's entirely possible. Yeah.
Because they'd already said they were going to release them in a 2-pack.
Mm-hmm. And judging by the fact that Pythona has shown up in Void Rivals,
yeah,
I think she's in this mix somewhere. Globulus, these guys were speculating that Globulus was in this mix too as a deluxe, but either PulseCon or Comic-Con.
He could be. I was going to say he could be the SDCC next year.
Yeah.
He could be that Arthur Deluxe.
Yeah,
because I'll bet they'll make him like from the movie where you have the round pod thing that'll pop open.
Oh yeah,
right. That would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be very cool. So I mean, all things aside, and it's fun or discouraging, or both to kind of speculate on what the heck is going on at Hasbro. This is still a lot of product scheduled for 2025. So don't get down on the line, and certainly don't give up on it.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect you're going to hear more and more and more of those rumors that the line has actually been canceled post 2025. Even if that's the case, you know what, guys? Support it till the very end. The fact of the matter is if Hasbro doesn't want to make physical toys anymore, this license is still worth a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Somebody could very well pick it up and continue on with the class. I mean, I have to tell you, I don't know if he's got the money or not. I don't even know if the man has the interest. I don't know him. It would be pretty ironic if somebody like Bobby Valla ended up with the classified license. If there's anybody out there that would be capable of picking it up wherever Hasbro leaves it off, it would be him, honestly. Okay, Desert Slaughter and Mercer is one of the 2-packs as leaked by Slaughter himself. That's very interesting. Makes sense, right? Makes perfect sense to me. He didn't. I think, yeah, Mason, you're onto something that didn't. Somewhere in the last couple of weeks, I saw something about Slaughter having said something he wasn't supposed to. That's probably what you're referring to, and that would make sense. Yeah, I know, McFarlane.
Did everybody get their Starduster this week?
No, I had canceled mine. So.
Oh, didn't you?
It was too much of a deep dive for me.
Yeah, but again, you also
I see, right? Yeah.
So I mean, another component for Flash and Short Fuse and some of those, and Grand Slam.
Yeah, and Hawk. I mean,
and Hawk.
Yeah, it's right there.
You got the visor.
Yep. That jetpack, well, yeah. I mean, it's like
I'm happy with it.
Wouldn't be hard to do.
Yeah, I'm happy with the figure. I think it turned out good. I wasn't too sure about the camo pants. It didn't look right, but now that I got it in hand, I like it.
Yeah, they look pretty
good. And one thing, like I said, they showed it and pointed out, but you definitely got a much more attractive Falcon.
Yeah. Yeah, that 2-pack's made of unobtainium all of a sudden. You muted yourself, John.
Tried him or not, but they did say that the head was interchangeable. It would have been cool if instead of the I get why they're doing the Steel Brigade helmets, because back in the 2000s when they done the 6-pack Night Force, every one of them had Steel Brigade helmets, so I get that. But it would have been cool if they'd maybe come with a second head that had maybe like a snarl or a smiling face that you could use on the other Falcon. Because if you take this one off and put on another Falcon, then you got to put the other head on this one, and then you still got an ugly Falcon. So.
It's kind of unavoidable, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's wrong with having an ugly soldier? I mean, I'm just, I mean,
I think to me he just looks.
It's
older.
fine. You want pretty soldiers. I understand.
Yeah. to me, he just looks older. To me, he looks more like a Joseph Colton. To me, the first one, he just looks like an older.
He was young in the line, and the one we got, he looked like he was.
I'm not
years old or better.
I'm still not a big fan of the shoulder pad things. I wish they just took the same mold and just done it in Night Force colors, but I'm not going to complain. The one that I do like, though, I was really impressed with Quarrel, and I like the fact that because Scarlet always had a ponytail in the cartoon, the comic book, so I see why they done the ponytail on the retro. But Quarrel, she never was in the cartoon or the comics, so she had short hair because she was a repaint of the Scarlet mold. So they did. I think they've done a great job on the head, and she's got short hair.
Very nice.
You can see the earpiece and see it actually running down her neck too.
Right, for the mic,
For the mic,
the throat mic, very cool.
This is a very nice figure. I really like it.
She was action, right?
She was Action Force, yes.
Yeah.
UK exclusive. Now I'm kind of excited about getting Glenda when it comes now, because seeing her and how good it looks in person. I don't know. We'll see.
Have you pulled down her arm pads there and seen if she got the marking under it?
What marking she's supposed to have under it?
Supposedly she's supposed to have another.
Oh, okay.
Printed.
Yeah, she does. She has the Action Force or the Z Force.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There's supposed to be two there. Supposedly.
I didn't even realize that. Yep, sure enough.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's cool.
She does have the Z Force.
There's a yellow one under it. Also.
Under what?
Under that marking too. You pull it on down. Some people have the yellow.
That one pulls down too?
Yeah. You talking about maybe on the other side?
Maybe on the other side, but some people had. I
know a lot of the British guys.
She's got the British flag. She's got the British flag.
But there's a yellow, like a yellow patch on. Some people have been having yellow patches on them too.
Huh?
Yours don't
got the British. I don't have a yellow patch on mine, but she's got the British flag on her.
Over on the Action Force side, some people have been having a yellow patch underneath it also.
Huh. I wonder what that's for.
Don't got a clue. A lot of people thinking it's just a misprint.
It must be.
I see.
But yeah, I didn't even realize that until you said that. That is cool that they got the.
Because a lot of people are taking them pads off and doing away with them so you can see the patches.
Yeah. Because I ain't real big on those shoulder pads. I took them off my tripwire where he looked more like the vintage tripwire.
Right.
I may end up doing the same, especially on him. They just don't look right. They don't stay on good to me. They kind of, I don't know, when you pose them, they kind of pop off. The female ones seem to stay on better, I guess, because they're smaller. But I don't know. No, I was pleased with that set. I thought they'd done a good job on both of them. And on the Starduster, so I can't complain on them. I was surprised that comes so soon. I knew it was getting time to ship, but I never got a notification or anything. I just all of a sudden seen. I said, Nancy said, "Well, you got 3 packages." I said, "Well, I was only expecting 2," and sure enough, one of them, but 2 of them was from Walmart.
And you didn't throw away your cereal box in the background, did you?
No, but it don't. I guess you got to put tape on it to hold it together, because I tried putting it together, but it don't stay together.
It is part of the packaging.
But I couldn't get over this. I ordered it Thursday, and he showed up in my mailbox Friday. I'm like,
that's insane. Where did that ship from?
It had to. I think it showed Georgia, Palmetto, Georgia.
Wow.
So that must be where their distribution center is. But I mean, I thought, boy, of all figures to come this fast, it would be Quicksilver, so it makes
Yeah,
sense.
right. Yeah,
But,
delivered himself.
but yeah, I was like, wow, that was super fast. So they
Yeah.
had him sitting on go, and that's the way to do it. Put it in stock, order it, and have it the next day. That's the way they should all be.
It's pretty impressive, actually. It was very good.
Yeah.
I know Mason is super excited about the V4 Snake Eyes, and I don't blame him. I'm curious to see what it's going to look like. The classified treatment with that particular version of Snake Eyes it has to be interesting because
the Night Force emblem. Okay, yeah, I guess that's what that would be, like on the box. Yeah. I don't know. The patch has got some kind of. I'm not sure what that looks like. The globe with something yellow over it. I'm not sure on that.
Oh, I don't know.
I can't really tell what that is, but
show it again, John. Huh. Yeah, I believe that's the patch everybody's talking about.
I don't know. I mean,
and then there's a British flag patch under it, right?
Right. Yeah, the British flag's under it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know unless it's.
So that's Mason. That's the one that's supposed to be Night Force. Is that what the hubbub's about? That it's just wrong or something?
I mean, yeah, my mail call this week.
Yeah, it is odd that they put her in the Night Force.
Sorry, John.
That's all right. I'm done with it anyway. It ain't got a mainline character. I'm just done with it.
That's a weird thing.
And I expected whenever they said this was going to be damaged, I was expecting the boxes to be small, but it wasn't. I
expect they'll probably release it eventually anyway.
Yeah, I hope so.
Super glue the box.
Well, the thing is that they got these molds. I mean, you would think they. Yeah. I mean, we all gripe and complain about repaints and whatever, but let's face it. I mean, repaints was G.I. Joe's bread and butter. It always was.
Hey, so, at least they do some difference on the paint, so you can distinguish them. Because I mean, look at Star Wars Black Series. They just repackage a lot of those. I mean, the same figure.
Star Wars. They were re-releasing the ones that are sought after because they're trying to get people to buy them again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
I have to tell you what, there wasn't the biggest response during that whole hour program. The biggest response that I really discerned was that Captain Rex from Revenge of the Sith, when they showed that retro packaging. That was the biggest response that I heard from that crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And that was for 20th anniversary style packaging.
Yep.
That was the biggest response for anything I heard from that crowd. But to be fair, most of them aren't collectors, really. They're internet guys that are just there to, get clicks. So,
yeah, I mean, half of these figures are figures from some kids. Jedi.
A new show that's not even out.
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
Skeleton Crew.
Skeleton Crew. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
My thing is, it's like they've gone overboard, oversaturated it with too much Star Wars stuff, and it's just no longer has any. Used to. I don't know how to explain it, but used to you have to wait 3 years between movies.
Yeah, right.
To give you time to get excited when the next one come out, and you want to go buy the figures for it and all that. But now you just got new movies and new shows constantly coming out, and you just can't. I mean, I'm glad I don't collect Star Wars anymore because I'd hate to have to try to keep up with all the stuff they're putting out. And what gets me is there's still a lot of characters from the original trilogy that they haven't done that they could do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. To me, just all the animated stuff and all that, I know it's supposed to be canon, but I just don't count. If it ain't an actual live action, I don't count it. And even some of the live action stuff, I don't count.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. I mean, that Skeleton Crew, I have to tell you, the reception for all of those figures was just absolute crickets. I mean, absolute crickets.
No one knows what they are. Like,
yeah, it's just
and this is coming right off of getting burned by Acolyte. No,
Yeah,
people didn't
I
like
know.
Acolyte. Those figures aren't going to sell unless you're trying to customize Jedi for some reason or another.
Yeah,
And so, you know, I'm a Star Wars fan. Acolyte was boring. It
Very
was
boring.
boring to watch.
didn't
And
watch
so I'm all for Star Wars that doesn't have to deal with the Skywalker, you know, family and everything.
it. Not me.
But you just burned my willingness to sit through it with this last series that you did that you made this big to do about, and it was boring. Star Wars was boring.
Well, for me on Acolyte, they just spit in Luke Skywalker's face because of
I
the
think they did that with the
midi-chlorians.
trilogy, but
Because he was supposed to have the highest midi-chlorians of all. Him and Darth Vader,
Anakin, yeah.
And to me, it just no. Sorry.
I think the whole midichlorian thing ruined Star Wars to begin with. That's what most people complained about when Episode 1 come out.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
The criticism of it back then in the day was pretty bad.
But I just mean as a story, Acolyte was boring to watch. And so my willingness to be on board with this next, it's Star Wars, but it's not anything attached to the originals, blah blah. Well, okay, yeah, I'll probably watch it because you know it's Star Wars, but I'm not excited about it. You know, you made me think Acolyte was going to lead to the creation of the Sith, and we were going to see Sidious, or we were going to see what's his face, Plagueis, or and nothing. We got none of that.
I can only as a Star Wars kid since '77. All I can offer up really about the Star Wars mess is, and it's just my opinion, but you can't. Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, the Skywalker family is Star Wars as we know it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you either have to go into the past, like Knights of the Old Republic, Yoda when he's young, back Qui-Gon Jinn and Dooku's relationship, if you don't want to go all the way back to like Knights of the Old Republic, all the way back to Yoda when he's young. You have to do that and honor the Skywalker saga by building up to it, right? Or, in my opinion, you have to go into the distant future and honor the Skywalker saga as it happened, right? Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
But the whole Rey trilogy, it dishonored the Skywalker family so badly, and that's what ticked everybody off.
Yeah.
And this other stuff that's kind of dancing around, hey, let's fill in like the Obi-Wan series. Let's fill in this space, or let's jam this in here as periphery stuff. An awful lot of fans have seen it, and whether it is or not, I couldn't really tell you because I haven't seen 80% of it, 90% of it. It's just they see it as dishonoring to what Star Wars was. And Star Wars, if it weren't for the Skywalker family, Star Wars wouldn't be what Star Wars is, right? It was about Anakin Skywalker from Episode 1 on. So,
and I know it was originally intended to be 9 parts when Lucas come up with the idea, but to me it seemed like it would have been perfect just to end it with Episode 6, because they made a big deal in the prequels about him being the chosen one, and basically he did threw the Emperor down the shaft and ended the Sith, or could have if they'd ended it there, and he would have actually fulfilled his destiny as a chosen one to end the Sith.
Yep.
And if they just stopped it there, it would have been perfect.
And that's what I mean. If we had a real significant, like centuries jump into the future to what, a balanced, restored Jedi Order would look like with some Sith running around in the background. Do you see what I'm saying? With referring back to what happened in episodes 1 through 6. I think people would have tolerated it a lot better, but instead we go to this clone emperor, and right. I mean, what was it? What was the tall guy that was the main villain in the first 2 movies?
Snoke.
Yeah.
Nope.
Where did this guy even come from? That wasn't even remotely explained.
Sure.
Another Death Star, but this time it's a whole planet, and it's just like, yeah, guys, come on, man. How about you didn't have if you'd have gone 200 years into the future, people I think would have been okay with it.
I think the main problem with the sequel trilogy was that it undermined the characters.
Oh, badly.
Luke is the personification of hope. He finds out his dad is a mass murderer, and he says, "There's still good in him. I believe it, and I'm going to prove it to you."
Right.
Han and Leia, the whole original trilogy, them ending up together at the end. Oh, now they're just split up, and oh, by the way, they have a kid together. You don't have to tear down what was there before.
See, the problem with the Solo twins, in all of the EU stuff for decades was canon. Right? Luke and Leia had twins. They were canon. And then all of a sudden
Luke and Leia didn't have twins.
No. I mean Han and Leia had twins. Right? I mean, it's just like no,
what for lack of trying.
Yeah, just no, forget it. That never happened. They tossed so much canon to tell this next trilogy that they were off on the wrong foot to begin with.
I think at the end of the day, it's that there wasn't a person in charge of it who actually knew what was going on. When you have Mark Hamill telling you this is not how Luke should be, and you say, no, this is our new Luke. Mark Hamill's been Luke for 40 years.
Yeah.
Trust him.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
I'm sorry. He created the character. At a certain point, when an actor has been doing this job for so long, you gotta listen to him when he says, like, no, I don't think this is what Luke would be doing. And so that whole sequel trilogy, it was, you didn't know what you wanted to do. You kept changing what you wanted to do. And then the last movie, you're like, all right, let's tie everything up. No. Anyhow.
Yeah, no. And that's the problem with Star Wars toys as it is, right?
Well, it's
the media that backs it is so terrible that no one's interested.
It has failed to gain a modern audience.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I mean, no one's going to buy this stuff. The people who are old and remember the good old days don't like this new stuff because it's messing up our story, and the stories aren't good, so you're not attracting new audience, so you're just
it sucks.
Let it die.
It what do you want me to say? It sucks.
Pretty much.
I thought Rogue One was a great movie. I liked Solo.
I like Solo too.
Because they weren't out to change anything. They were adding to. You know what I mean?
Andor is an amazing series. Andor made me scared of stormtroopers.
I haven't seen it.
If you like Rogue One, watch Andor. Andor is awesome.
I'm not. For me personally, I'm not giving Disney any of my money, so I'm not going to watch it.
I mean, you already gave them Rogue One money.
It was a long time ago.
Well, hey, we're actually over by 6 minutes, but before we end, I just wanted to point out I bought this past week. If you're a Super Friends fan at all, I highly recommend. This is the whole from 1973 to 1985. Every one of the Super Friends series.
It's awesome.
I absolutely love it.
It's awesome.
I mean, it's $60, $59.99 at Walmart right now, but it's well worth every penny. I'm telling you, if you like Super Friends at all, you got to get this set. I mean, it's great. And it's so many memories because I remember as a kid all the way back into the 70s watching Super Friends.
Oh, yeah. And, that was Saturday mornings, man.
You know, I'm sitting there just like it's Saturday morning all over again.
It's awesome stuff.
I can't remember the 70s.
And they do also have Pee-wee's Playhouse, the complete series too. So I couldn't
stand that. I couldn't do that.
I loved Pee-wee's Playhouse when I was a kid.
Pee-wee reminds me of Blippi. If you're familiar with Blippi,
I hated Blippi too.
Hey, Lawrence Fishburne. I mean, come on. His first, Cowboy Bob.
Yeah.
You're not selling me on it.
No, it was Cowboy Kurt, wasn't it?
Curtis.
I don't remember.
Cowboy Curtis. That's it. Cowboy Curtis, yeah. Yeah, and Miss Yvonne.
I just remember when that was on, you were either 6 or you were stoned out of your gourd. Those are the only two people that watched. Those are the only two people that watch Pee Wee play. Oh, yeah.
Or both.
Well, hey, and I guess we'll say until next time.
There you go.
See y'all guys.
We'll see y'all next.